how you doing? It's Jeff Sinker back again, bringing you another Status Quo song. I really do like this band, and I've noticed an awful lot of people are enjoying these lessons. It's probably my first one that I posted some time ago. It's one of my most popular videos out there, so I thought, well, let me give you another one. This one, Roll Over Lay Down, great song from the Hello album. It's a Hello album. What I'm going to show you is everything. I'm going to show you all of the parts, the intro, the guitar solo that Francis Rossi played, which is based on the album version. He totally changes it now from what I've seen it from the album to what he's just been recently playing in the last year or so. Totally different. He just really enjoys himself when he's playing this. And of course, you don't have to stick to it, but great kind of play to start. So I'm talking you through it note by note. Also going to look at the second solo when it slows down, and also we're going to cover all of the parts played by Rick Parfitt on the rhythm guitar. So a lot to cover, but not too hard to play. And I know you're really going to enjoy this if you do like a bit of boogie and you like Status Quo. Well, I am going to let you go, and we're going to get right into this. Enough of the talking. So let me show you how to play Roll Over Lay Down. So don't go away.
Preview.
What we're going to do now is look at the rhythm guitar parts that were played by the late Rick Parfitt. So I'll just play the first part through. Now, what I'm doing there, I'm playing across a D5, and we're keeping that shuffle feel, because that's the important thing when we're playing this. You've got this shuffle feel all the way through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you get this. So I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 out. And then for the forehand, what I'm doing, I'm playing 8 on the E to 8 on the A string. So I get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now we're going to play that 11 times. What I want to do is show you the transition where he goes into the build up to the verse section, because we've been playing this about 11 times. So what is happening there, I've got that first part where I'm going, and then I go, do the 8, 8, then I go back and I do twice, and then I'm going to go up to the F5, which is on the 13th fret, and I go, play 3 downstrokes, then I go back to my D5. Now I'm playing this, what I would call a boogie line. So what I'm playing here, I am going to be putting down my little finger on the 2 count and the 3 and the 4 count. So I get this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. That's how I play in that rhythm. Now when I come back and I play 2 more, so I get this. So I only put that little finger down on here twice. Back up to the F5 and then back to. And from there we are now into the verse section. So the rhythm that we're playing through the verse is a typical boogie. We're playing this. Now what we've got is 1 bar starts before, or we play that for 1 bar before Francis Rossi starts singing. So we've got this. Then he'll start singing. So we've got another 2 bars. Then I've got this E to an F. Go back. got the repeat. Then we got this, which is over that roll over lay down. So as I've come out of playing the verse section, I go back to going. And in back into verse. If you're unsure about that, just refer to the tablature, which I'll be including with that. Now, we play through that, we got the verses, and then we could just come to the end. So when he's just playing before the solo, we get this. And then we're into the solo. But let's have a look what Rick Parfitt is playing over the guitar solo sections. Okay, when the solo starts, Rick Parfitt is just playing this line. Now, he just plays it just different, just for one bar. On the first bar, he's playing this with a boogie, where he goes on this D5 on 10th fret. And from there, then all he's doing is just playing across the D5. So you get... He's just playing that through, and he does 16 bars of that. On the 16th bar, we then move down to the G5 and we do 2 bars of that. Back to the D5. From there, we go down to an F5, up to the D5, and then we get this. We'll be going from the F5 on the 8 to the C5. And then it repeats, it goes around in a cycle from that. So we get this D5. Again. And from there, we are then into the clean guitar section, which we're going to do now. So let me just play it through. So let me just play it through. Okay, and of course that keeps on repeating. It's kind of quite, to me, that's the hardest part of the song. You're keeping that momentum going, just keeping them triplets continually moving. What I'm playing here, I am playing over an F chord, but what I'm doing, I'm playing it as a D shape, and I just move it up 3 frets. So from a natural D, a normal D shape, I move it up so my second and, so my first and my second finger are on 5 fret, and my third finger is on 6. And the picking pattern over the triplet is G, E, B, and we just got triplety, 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 triplety. We move up 2 frets, so we're playing over a G. We play that twice. Triplety, back down. We play that F once. And then we're going to move down to a C, but this time all we're going to do, because we just put our first finger on the B string, so it's like playing a D, but the balance is, so it's like a C chord, but we just got that finger. We play that once, and then we're back into a normal D chord this time for a whole bar. In fact, it's 2 bars. So we go back. We just keep playing that through that second guitar solo. Now, as it comes to the end of that part, what we have is this little chord change, or this little break, that leads us back into the rhythm section. So we're just going to check this out. So what we've got is on the last D, we've gone down from that. And we're back into a verse. Okay, now that's taken us out of the guitar solo. We do a verse and a chorus. We just keep playing that through really towards the end of the track. Right, let's look at that intro that Francis Rossi plays at the beginning of the song. I'll just play the first section through. Okay, what we're doing now, 10-13 on the B string, going to the 10, and we stay on the 10 on the high E. And then we get a 10-13. We repeat the opening line, so that 10-13. Got 3 more 10s after that, and then we got this 10 on the high E string, 13-10 on the B, down to the 10 on the G. So we get this. There's a little bit of a bend. We repeat. And again. Now when we come out of that second time we'll be coming down, we have this leg. And what I'm doing now on that little line down is doing a 12 full tone bend twice. And then I've got another full tone bend, bringing it down to the 10, pulling off to the, so we bring it down to the 12, pulling to the 10. Finishing up on the 12 on the D. Ten. Repeat. And this time we're going, instead of going down to the 10, we go to the 10 on the G. And that is the intro solo section. So let's have a look at the opening phrase of the solo. I'll just play it through. I'm going to start off on 2 on the G string, play that once. And I do a 2-4-2, pick, hammer on, pull off. And then 4 on the D, and back to the 2. So we get. And I got 2 more on the G2, and then the same riff. Now we go into this series that we play 4 times, this riff. When I'm playing that, I'm just doing that 2-4-2 on the G string, down to the 4. And then I've got this, when I'm playing the 2-2 again, 4 on the D, back to the 2 on the G, and then to an open D. And we repeat that. So let me just play the next lick. Okay, what I'm doing now, I'm starting off on the G2 and I'm playing G2, G4. Cross over to the 3 on the B, and then I'm doing a 5-6. Back to the 3. Now I've got a very quick, so that is quite quick, that 2. And then we've got, which is a 3-5-6 back to the 3. We repeat that, but we put it in a 5-3 at the end, so we go. And then we play. So we're going to play that twice after we played that little watch one. The next line. What I'm doing, I'm playing 7 on the G string, cross over to the 8 on the B string, and I do a full tone bend and then release it down. Down to the 6 on the B, back to the 7. And we repeat the same lick at the first part for the next one. But instead of going down to the 7 on the G, I'm going to do 2 full tone bends on the 8. And then I've got, so then I hit that 8, finish down on the 7. Then I've just got this little kind of, he's just playing because he's building up to the next stage where we just go, he just plays that. Next part. So what we're doing there, we're going to play a triplets for an entire bar on the 10th on the B and the E string. So we get this triplet, triplet, triplet. And we're going to go into this riff. When I'm playing there, I'm just playing on the 10. I'm holding down that double stop and I'm playing 10 to the 12 on the B, cross to the 10. And again, it's a triplet. Now I'm going to play that 5 times. And then I've got this little bluesy type bend again on that 12. Where I'm just bending up on the 12th fret, down to the 10th fret. Alright, next line. Okay, what I'm doing now, I do a full tone bend on the 12th fret on the high E, down to the 12, and then I've got this run down from 10 on the E, 13 on the B, 10 on the B again, and then on the G string, what I'm doing 12 to the 10, to the 11, and then I go across and I play B10 twice. So again. I go back to the G12 and I'm going to play G12 to the 10 to the 11 and then down to the 12 on the B, on the D. So again. And then the next one, I play the 12 on the D, I do 10 and then 11 on the G, and finish on the 10 on the B. Right, let's move on. What I'm doing there, I'm doing a 10 on the B to 13 on the B, cross over to 10 on the high E, and then I would do a double stop across B10 and B8. And I do that twice. Go across to the 15 on the E string and do a full tone bend, down to the 13, and then cross over to B15, and I've got this. So I'm doing 15, 13, 15. Next lick. I'm doing that, I'm just taking that 15 on the B string and I'm going to play 2 full tone bends. And then I do this 15, 15, 13, 14 on the G, back to the 13. I go back and play 2 more bends, but again the timing on this, he's kind of loose with it. So again. So he's kind of repeated the same phrase, just a little slight variation in the way he's bending and the timing of that. Okay, let's move on. So let me play it through. So what we're doing there is a full tone bend on the 17, down to 17, 15 on the E, across to the B string, and I'm doing 18, 15. I go to the 14 on the G, and I'm going to do 14, 17, across to the 15. Then I've got a 15, 17, to the 17 on the G, to the 15 on the B. And now we've got a series of bends, and they're all going to be full tone bends on the 17th fret. Now the first two are kind of in time. The second one's very, very loose. He plays it totally different. Every single time I've heard different recordings, we get this. So you're just filling that whole bar up after your first two initial. The rest, do really what you want on that. Okay, let's go into the next lick. So I'll just play it through. So I'm playing 10 on the B string to 13, cross over to the 10 on the E, and then back to the 13 on the B. And I do that twice. Second time I start off the same, I do that 10, 13. Hit the 10, and then I've got two more 10s, 13, 10 on B. Then I have got 10 twice again on the B string to 12, 10, 12, 10. And from there we get this line. What I'm doing again, it's very similar to the other one, it's just kind of almost reversed. I'm playing 10 on the high E string to 13 on the B, 10 on the B to 13 on the high E. And we do that twice. Okay, let's move on. The next part is just a series of 12s across for a whole bar, just playing triplets, 12s on the B. Then we've got this line. And what I'm doing now, I'm doing a 12 to a 10, and it's going to be a double stop there. Back to the 12 on the G. Double stop on the 10 on the G and B, and then I've got a double stop B and E. Then I'm playing 10, 12, 10. And then I do a full tone bend on the 12. Now this line, we're playing this quite a few times now as we move forward. So we're playing this full tone bend. So it's a full tone bend 12, down to the 12 on the G, double stop, 12 on the D, and then now we're going to play two double stops on the G10. So you go. Okay, next line. Now this one is going to be played twice. So I'm going to be playing this. Doing that B string 13, 12, 10. G string, I'm doing a 12, 10, 11. And then 2 on the D12. Now that's been played where the band is starting to really kind of build up towards the end of the kind of guitar solo. And then the next break is very kind of free and open what we're playing. So I'm just going to be playing this. I've got this. So I'm just playing a 13 on the B to a double stop 10. And then I got this 10, 13, 10. So I got... kind of very loose again what he's doing then. You'll get the feel of it again if you play along with the backing track. Okay, let's move into the final stages. Now, the next lick, very similar to one we played before. It goes like this. So I'm just playing 12 on this on the G string, 12, 10, 12, 10. To 12 on the D, back to 10 on the G, and then a full tone bend on the 12 on the G. Then we go back to this similar riff, but this is a continual one, so we're going to play this. Play that twice. Which is that 13, 12, 10 on the B. And then on the G string, 12, 10, 11. Play that twice, and then we go back and we're going to play 13, 10 on the B. To 12 on the G. And then we got this, which is an 11, 10. Final lick goes like this. So what I'm playing there across the 14 and 13, I'll do a bar, 2, 3, 4, 1. And that takes us to the end of that part of the solo, because now it goes nice and quiet, and we've got the little triplet part played on the clean guitar, where we go into guitar solo number 2. So what I'm going to do now is play for all the parts of the second guitar solo through the quieter section. Very easy to play this part. We're going to start off on 13 on the B, to 12 on the B, to 12 on the G, to 11 on the G, to 10 on the high E. Next time around, what we do is we don't play that 10 on the high E, so we get 13, 12, 12, 11. Back, 13, 12, 12. And then we got this little full tone bend, which is 12, down to the 12, to the 10, and then we repeat that second riff where we don't go to the 10, so we finish off with. That's the end of that solo section. Okay, let's just talk quickly about Francis Rossi's part. This, obviously, he's got playing the lead guitar on this, Rick Parfitt playing the main rhythm guitar. But Francis Rossi, what he does, he plays to a different position on the chord just to give a different feel. So he's playing it down here on 5 frets, so we get this. And then what he does, instead of going, he takes an E to an F to play on that verse. And the same when we go, if he was going on that, what Rossi does, just to give it at bottom end when they're playing, because obviously Parfitt's right up here on that. So that's really what Rossi's doing as an alternative, because obviously he's got to be singing at the same time. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed learning how to play Roll Over, Lay Down. A lot of fun to be had on this. It's not too hard. Even the guitar solo, although it's long, is quite doable for intermediate, beginner intermediate really. Kind of crossover. Nice little intro lead section to play there through. But I do hope you've enjoyed learning to play it. Well, until the next time, this is Jeff Sinker, wishing you well. I'll speak to you again real soon. Until then, goodbye.